Sure, one last kick. This is gonna be it. This is the moment. Vicario kicks this. And Liverpool are there. Liverpool are Premier League champions. And there it comes. Crystal Palace, for the very first time in their history, are FA Cup winners. Oh, he's found the net. Oh, what a goal. Kvaratskhelia is through, wants to add a fourth, and does so. Ahmad, oh my goodness me. That is absolutely unbelievable. Rice again. Oh! You thought he couldn't beat the first one. He's gone and bettered it. Another whip ball in. The header is in by Virgil van Dijk. Incredible. A very good afternoon, welcome to the EFL Championship live here on LFS as we kick off our Saturday action on the opening weekend of the 25-26 season. It's great to have you with us for this one. 3 games kicking off at 12:30 this afternoon. Let's have a quick look and show you what's in store today. Charlton, newly promoted from League One after winning the playoffs last year. Nathan Jones' side host Watford at the Valley. Coventry, under Frank Lampard, beaten in the playoff semi-finals last year. They host Hull City there at the Coventry Building Society Arena. And our game, our feature game, sees Southampton, who were relegated dismally from the Premier League, rock bottom last season, and they host Wrexham, who are on an absolute flyer. 3 successive promotions. Can they make it 4? They start their championship campaign this afternoon in about 6 minutes' time. Then there is 6 3-o'clockers. Middlesbrough take on Swansea. Norwich host Millwall. Portsmouth head to Oxford. QPR face Preston. Stoke face Derby. And Blackburn head to West Brom. They're all 3 o'clocks. And then at 5:30 we round off our Saturday action as Sheffield United take on Bristol City, 2 of last season's playoff semi-finalists. Who played each other in the semi-finals of the playoffs, and they will play in the opening weekend of the season at 5:30 this evening. Right, that is what we've got to look forward to. We thank you all for joining us this afternoon. Southampton against Wrexham is our feature game. We'll get team news in a moment, but a quick look quickly at how what the predictions are going to be. We looked at it last night via Opta. This is where it is, and one of the teams we will watch today are the favourites, according to Opta, to be promoted back to the Premier League. Sheffield United, 41.1% chance, are playoff finalists who were beaten against Sunderland in that comeback win back in May. They are our favourites. The team we watch at lunchtime, Southampton, are the 5th most likely, according to Opta, to be back in the Premier League at the first time of asking. In terms of relegation, as you can see there, Oxford take the tail on that one, alongside Watford, who will be in action this lunchtime. And Wrexham, who we watch now in a moment, are the 3rd most likely team to be relegated. But they haven't been relegated under Phil Parkinson. They've only gone up, and they've one more step to go if they want to become a Premier League side. But there's a lot to jump up to that step. We know the gap between the Championship and the Premier League is huge. And that's why Southampton are here today, back in the Championship after winning the playoffs the season before last. It is going to be a new campaign, as it is for all 24 teams in this championship. And last night saw Birmingham, not Blackburn, Birmingham take a draw out of Ipswich with that late penalty to secure a draw away at Birmingham on the opening night of the season. It's 3 lunchtime games, including Southampton against Wrexham as our commentary game. That is next. welcome back. Here are the teams for our game this lunchtime. We start with the home side, Southampton, here at St Mary's. Gavin Bazunu starts in goal. Well, still in his first game as the Southampton manager's gone with the back three/back five. Sugawara, Edwards, Stevens, Quarshie and Wellington in the defence. In midfield, Flynn Downs is alongside Shea Charles. And then up front, Ryan Fraser is alongside Jay Robinson, and of course Adam Armstrong, the number 9 for the Saints. McCarthy, Wood, Manning, Matsuki, Fernandez, Stewart, Archer, Downs and Brereton Diaz all on the bench. For Wrexham, 3 successive promotions, and they're in the Championship after they were in the National League just 4 years ago. They start with Danny Ward in goal, the former Leicester City goalkeeper. Barnett, Clayworth, Cody, Brunt and Kakachi are all in defence in a back 5/back 3. O'Brien, James and Dobson are in midfield with James the captain, and a front 2 of Kiefer Moore and Josh Windass, 2 very well proven strikers in this division. On the bench for Wrexham, Onkowu, McConnell, McLean, Longman, Ashfield, Lee, Evans, Hardy and Sam Smith. It is the Saints against Wrexham. It is the Championship, and Wrexham, as we've already said, their meteoric rise under Phil Parkinson, and they start in their 4th different division in 4 years. Kick-off at St Mary's is next. A very good afternoon. Welcome to Championship Live here at LFS. Don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications if you haven't done so already. That would be greatly appreciated, and we thank you all for joining us here this afternoon for this one. Of course, we will keep you right up to date with all of the scores from around the EFL. I think there's a total of 7 games across the EFL kicking off at 12:30. We'll keep you right up to date with all of those, including League 1 and League 2, and our 3 Championship games that we're very much keeping a very close eye on here on opening weekend of the EFL Championship. Southampton want to bounce back to the Premier League at the first time of asking. Wrexham want to continue their incredible rise and maybe defy all odds under their Hollywood owners in having a Hollywood story to tell. As we're about to get underway, and Wrexham have their first kick of the new season as they get us going here on the South Coast. A very intriguing affair. 2 sides who are favourites for very different objectives this season. Southampton regarded as one of the favourites to be heading right back up to the Premier League, but Wrexham, despite 3 successive promotions, it is some rise, and we see the likes of Ipswich have stumbled after their back-to-back promotions as well, all the way up. The gap between the EFL clubs is smaller than the EFL to the Premier League, but one thing is for sure, this is a division that gives you no favours, and you don't get away with very much. Here's Ryan Fraser with the first attack of the game. Edge of the box with a shot, and he had one that went wide on that occasion, but it had Danny Ward scrambling. See it again, they win the ball from the throw and they work it very direct. Ryan Fraser in a pocket of space, not really being tracked intensely enough, and he gets the shot off on the edge of the box with his right foot on the inside step, and he lets it bounce, and it just bounces wide for a goal kick. But that was a positive start from Southampton, and an early warning sign to Wrexham that yes, they've been so successful in League 1 and League 2 in previous campaigns, but this is a whole different kettle of fish in the Championship. A lot of teams with very little to separate them, and this season I think will be one of the closest we've ever seen in the Championship between the top sides and the sides battling relegation. Something tells me there's going to be a minuscule amount of difference between them. Certainly one side that will have a lot to prove this season is Southampton. Like their fellow relegated side Ipswich last night, they'll want to start well, get on the board and get their first points of the new season. Give themselves something positive to look forward to in this new campaign. Of course, Leicester, who were also relegated with Southampton and Ipswich last season, they play tomorrow at the King Power against Sheffield Wednesday. Nice work here from Southampton in midfield as Downs has the ball now. Right wide to Sugawara. Playing right wing back today, and he fizzes one across the box. And they had to scramble it away there, Wrexham defensively, with Brunt. And ultimately, the ball goes out for a Wrexham throw here on this near side. But that man there, Sugawara, Yukinari Sugawara, was quite impressive in the Premier League last season, despite their really poor campaign, Southampton, and there's no doubt about that, how poor their campaign was. And under Russell Martin, their real inability to change the way they play, to adapt to the game situation. They were very rigid in the way that they wanted to play and were determined to stick to their football. And ultimately fell on their own sword in a sense. As here's a chance for Wrexham forward. Work into the box there with Windass, and he wins a throw in down that right hand side. Well, that's one thing about Wrexham. They do have the experience at this level in the side. Long throw in. There's a battle in there. The man went down, and Kiefer Moore, but he's not going to get a free kick on that occasion, as that's going to be a late challenge on that moment by O'Brien, and that's going to be a free kick to Southampton. Wrexham are a little bit confused as to why they weren't given the same treatment a few seconds ago. This is from the throw-in, whipped into the box, and Kiefer Moore tussling with the defender. Trying to see who the defender was. Yeah, they just kind of got a grip of each other there. It was Edwards, I believe. Ronnie Edwards. Yeah, that's not a penalty in my opinion. They just had a hold of each other, really. Kiefer Moore goes to ground, but not much Ronnie Edwards can do. Just had a grapple of each other. And of course, we had a little piece. There was a little piece from Howard Webb, who is the chief of the referees here in England in the PGMOL, and he was chatting about some rule changes for the new season and kind of what to expect with referees and the new campaign a little earlier, and they'd done a piece on it where he was explaining certain situations and how they will be dealt with this season as Flynn Downs commits a foul. A little bit overzealous in his battle for the ball there, Flynn Downs, against Kiefer Moore, who does win the free kick this time round. But he was having a chat, Howard Webb, about the new season and how the higher threshold and kind of certain little situations that are changing, like captains can only approach the referee. It was kind of implemented before. The 8-second rule now for goalkeepers. There's a couple of tweaks to the rules this season that we will be seeing a little bit more of. That's a lovely little turn of pace there from Wrexham. And winning the ball back quickly. Kiefer Moore shielding the ball and was brought down again. And Flynn Downs again committing that foul. Certainly tried to hold up the ball, Kiefer Moore there. Roberto says, go Wrexham from Sorrento. There's the man, Lewis O'Brien. Joined Wrexham for a club record £5 million from Nottingham Forest this summer. That's one thing about Wrexham. When you talk about a side that wants to kind of complete this meteoric rise, they certainly have to recruit, and the recruitment has been fabulous in garnering experience from the higher levels, but also of this level, those that have competed, have been successful at this level of football, and very experienced heads in the side, and it's a very fruitful recruitment approach. As Windass does well to hold the ball out wide here for Barnett. Tries to go for the early cross and gets a deflection, and will get the corner off Kwashi there. Also learning new names, new numbers, getting all up to speed with everything. Is going to be something the new season is going to have. We're underway, by the way, in all of the games that kicked off at 12:30 in the EFL. I'll let you know what happens as Lewis O'Brien takes the corner short. Finds its way all the way back here to the edge of the box, and the shots! Oh, over the bar from Connor Cody. Great delivery from the short corner here by Lewis O'Brien. They work it to the edge of the box, and it was, I believe, Josh Windass, it is, the number 10, who fizzes at a beautiful whip ball and coming round the back, Conor Cody sneaking in, getting his shin to the ball, and he just snatches it over the bar, but that was a sneaky one. Straight off the training ground, that sort of set-piece technique from Wrexham, and it almost worked. As O'Brien brought the ball down, and Wrexham keeping hold of the ball now. Here's Clayworth. James. Right down the right-hand side it comes. Lovely little jink there from Barnett. Right-footed delivery. Hooked away on that occasion by Quashie. And Southampton will try and get forward. Got to say, Wrexham have shown a little bit more intent, despite the early chance from Ryan Fraser. It's been Wrexham that have been the better side in the last few minutes. Got on the ball more, got forward in more fruitful situations. And already had that big chance with Conor Cody, who we'll talk about in the recruitment of all the Wrexham players and who they've brought in, some big signings. There's a break of the ball here for Southampton. Armstrong trying to battle and wrestle for a chance at getting a shot off, not given that chance. But Ryan Fraser wins it back. He's got Barnett for company. Fraser jinks it to the byline, gets the cross in. It's not confidently cleared. Edwards keeps it alive. Now Downs. Edwards. Back to Quashie. To Wellington. Back to Quashie again. To Stevens. Now Flynn Downs. Trying to hold the ball and get a little bit of rhythm in the game, a little bit of control for Southampton. It's been a little bit scrappy. A little bit end-to-ends. That was nicely won back by Wrexham. They were patient and they won the ball back well in a tight space in midfield. A long ball from the back there, targeting Caoimhan Ferris, who was making the run, but well dealt with by Stevens and Quashie. And Gavin Bazunu gets it off without trouble. Sugawara gives it back to Edwards, who thumps it long. Trying to find Ryan Fraser, the tricky little customer, and Adam Armstrong's on the scene there as Downs picks it up. He's got options in front of him, and Flynn Downs was brought down. The referee says no foul as he kept the ball moving there, Downs. Fraser with a cross, it's deep, it's round the back, and the header is well off target from Robinson and that far side, and that will go for a goal kick. But again, Flynn Downs wasn't particularly happy that he wasn't given a foul here. Bit of a late challenge by Dobson, and he went down. Pardon the pun that Flynn Downs went down, but he went to ground and he thought he was challenged, he thought he was fouled. In the end, the referee played advantage. He still got the ball off from Flynn Downs and kept the attack moving, but the referee not wanting to give a free kick on that occasion. And so far, this is a very intriguing affair. So far this morning, this afternoon, whatever you want to call it, that's another late challenge there by James this time, and now Southampton are in a good space. It's a shot! It's hit the side netting from Wellington. It got forward with some pace there, the left wing back. Again, it's a bouncing ball in the middle. It was James that was battling and tussling. He actually lifted his leg up. I think it was Adam Armstrong that was involved there. He went to ground. Southampton continued to attack. It was a good move, and the ball fed wide to Wellington, who certainly wellied it with his left foot, but he wellied it into the side netting. I've always seen it going wide there, Danny Ward, but that's where the threat can come from. Lovely little flick there by Caoimhan Ferris. Windass picking the run. Here's Josh Windass. He's going to hit one. He's going to curl one. And he hits the crossbar in doing so. He just saw the space open up, Josh Windass, and he decided to have a go. Lovely little hold-up play by Caoimhan Ferris, and Windass making the run across the defence. He chops back onto his right foot and then decides he's going to hit one. That's a curling effort. It's just unlucky that it bounces off the crossbar and over, but it was worth the hit. Clearly by the outcome, and wasn't too far away. There, Josh Windass. Would have been some goal. Very lively from both teams so far. Both wanting to get off to a good start. Both wanting to get that opening goal. Well, let's have a quick look at these two teams in focus for this game, of course. Our first match focus of the season is Southampton battle for the ball. We'll have a look in that in a moment, because here's Flynn Downs turning the ball out wide to Sugawara. Space here for Southampton. Fraser now. Plays it back to Ronnie Edwards. Again, just looked like there was space there to exploit, and they weren't as direct as they probably could have been, Southampton. Just patience, and they recycle the ball with their defenders. Here's Kwashi. Works it inside. Back it comes to Jack Stevens, who's the captain today. Edwards to Sugawara and back to Ronnie Edwards. Well, Southampton have the ball here. They've got bodies forward if they want to try and find someone. It's worked wide here to Ryan Fraser. Trying to dribble his way through the lines and couldn't quite link it up there in the end, Ryan Fraser. Well, let's have a look at the match focus then for this game. Southampton finished 20th in the Premier League, getting 12 points and just 2 wins last season. It was as close as anyone has come in recent years to that record that Derby set back in 2009 of just 11 points. And the worst points tally of a campaign. Wrexham, quite at the opposite end. They finished as runners-up in League One, securing automatic promotion, 92 points, and a third successive promotion for Wrexham. Well, this is the side's first competitive meeting since the League Cup second round in 1979-80. The Saints won 5-0 in the first leg at home and 3-0 in the away leg. 8-0 on aggregate when the last time these two met in a League Cup tie. 1979-80 season. A good 45 years ago. And of course, two signings that we've picked out this afternoon. Southampton's Damien Downs, who's on the bench this afternoon for the Saints, and Connor Cody, who starts right in the heart of that Wrexham defence. Those are the two main players that we've focused on. Well, that's our match focus. And at half-time as well, we'll also have a chat on how where these two sides have been the last 5 seasons. They very different trajectories. And so far, it's been a well-fought game in the first 15 minutes. Both sides have had opportunities, both sides have had chances, but you've got to say, Wrexham have probably had the best of the chance with Josh Windass hitting that crossbar a few moments ago. And there's a man who will be an absolute god at Wrexham Football Club, Phil Parkinson, the head coach who's guided them all the way from the National League, all the way up to the Championship this season. As I said, their 4th different division in 4 years. Just incredible. Of course, it's well documented, quite literally well documented, where they've come from. Squashy there was under pressure, but he just about got the ball off to Gavin Bazunu. Now Edwards. Nice little inside run there from Shea Charles, and nicely worked by Southampton. It's keeping the possession at the moment. Trying that long ball now, and Fraser was there for any little layoffs. As Connor Cody deals with that at the back for Wrexham. Can't get it forward. A little bit loose there from both teams in giving away cheap possession. Brunt. Oh, a little bit nervy. As Danny Ward had to get rid. As it looked like Adam Armstrong was ready to pounce. Danny Ward had to get rid of it. Yeah, there's a little bit loose there from James, the captain, Matty James of Wrexham. He tried to play it back to his keeper, undercooked it a little bit, which excited Adam Armstrong and thinking he was going to get a chance. And in the end, the former Leicester City goalkeeper, Danny Ward, had to get rid. Here's Kwashi, stepping into midfield, playing it out wide to Robinson on the left. Nicely intercepted down that right-hand side by Barnett. As they try that long ball forward, Wrexham didn't quite work, although O'Brien was chasing a ball down there, but to no great avail, as the Saints are quite calm in keeping that ball with their defenders. Well, Will Still, his first job in England. He is an English coach, but it is his first job in English football. Sider trying to get an attack here. That's a good shot. Well saved by Danny Ward. It's back in again, Robinson. Now he falls for Downs. And the deflection takes it behind for the corner. A little bit of last-ditch defending from Wrexham. Couple of good chances for Southampton. Yeah, it was all started with that run wide from Sugawara. Did well, laid it off to Shea Charles. Rolled it across for the shot there from Robinson. He had it saved by Ward. Then it bounces back out. It's kept alive. Robinson on a shot blocked. It fell for Downs, whose shot was deflected by Connor Cody behind for the corner. It's been a little bit dangerous there. Sugawara with a corner, right-footed. Up and away again by Wrexham. Cleworth that time getting his head to it first. They have to go all the way back to Gavin Bazunu to Southampton as they ping that ball forward. And it's headed across goal. Just a bit too far away from Adam Armstrong. And it's caught in the end by Danny Ward. But that was a great moment. That was a really good ball forward by Bazunu. It was a good header from the wide area, but no one really attacked it on that occasion from Southampton. That's a couple of decent opportunities in the last few minutes for the Saints, who will want to try and take a bit more control of this game now. So far, they've had the most of the possession, 67% of the ball, Southampton. Had 6 shots already in the game. So they're doing all the right things. You just want to try and have that get that first goal of the season, get them off and running. Took Ipswich to the 95th minute to open their account for the season. That penalty. Now Wrexham running behind here for Kiefer Moore. The flag stays down for now. He's in it one-on-one. Kiefer Moore brought down. Last man. The flag stays down. The referee points to the spot, and I think there might be a card coming as well here. Kiefer Moore timed his run to perfection according to the officials, and then as he got inside the 18-yard box, he was bundled over by Ronnie Edwards, and that's going to be a penalty to Wrexham. He just kind of shoved him over there, Ronnie Edwards. No attempt to play the ball. It's really clumsy defending. Really clumsy. It's just really idiotic. A really strong, sensible attacker. Very smart. Kiefer Murray knew he was always going to go down at any contact, and it was clear as day. It's a penalty. And Josh Windass, who was denied by the woodwork mere minutes ago, he has the chance to get Wrexham off and running in the championship. It's Gavin Bazunu who stands in his way. Every one of those away supporters watches on. Can barely watch. Their new number 10, Josh Windass, against Gavin Bazunu in the first game of the season from the penalty spot. Windass scores! Coolly taken penalty. Bazunu dived the right way, but the penalty was too good. And Josh Windass does open the scoring for Wrexham. Their dream continues. A dream start to the championship season. And they open the scoring against one of the promotion favourites in Southampton, who had probably been the better side, who had been creating the better chances. But one lax moment defensively means it's Wrexham who take that chance when it's given to them. And Josh Windass opens the scoring here in the South Coast. Beautiful penalty. Embodying composure. No nerves whatsoever from Josh Windass. Fabulously taken. And a lapse of judgment and concentration is what will punish you. And that is what has punished Southampton. Southampton 0, Wrexham 1. And you gotta say, there is no real arguments about that decision from the referee to give a penalty. It looked clear as day. I mean, it's just a really lazy shove by Ronnie Edwards into the back of Caoimhan Ferris, who worked that moment beautifully, timed his run to perfection, and made them and put them in a difficult spot defensively. Asked them the question, and in the end, Caoimhan Ferris comes up with the answer of winning a penalty, and Josh Windass quite calmly slots home. And a side that were not quite on the ropes, but they were getting to that point where their backs were getting against the wall. Southampton were creating a bit more kind of quality chances, but they've kind of stumbled here now, going behind. Caoimhan Ferris holds it up well. Dobson spreads it out to the right hand side here for Barnett. Barnett back to Dobson, who whips one across, but good height, but it's perfect for Gavin Bazunu to gather. Already Wrexham settling in well to the Championship, and the first half of this first half started perfectly for them. And that opening goal just breeds confidence. It's kind of a bit of a shell shock for Southampton. As I said, they'd been dominating possession, they'd been creating the better chances, but as I said, one lapse of judgment. And I said it early in the game, basically for Wrexham, in a sense, it's going to be a yellow card here, given out to Clayworth, I believe it is, for a little late foul on Robinson. Just drags him back with the back of his shirt. And Max Clayworth gets his first booking of the season. But as it was said about the expectation and the kind of the lack of room for error in the Championship, it is so closely knit now between all of the sides that one little lapse of concentration can completely undo you. And the quality in this division is so that there are players with a lot of quality that can punish you if you're not quite 100% on it all the time. And I kind of said it at the start, in a Wrexham idea, in the fact that Southampton have great quality players. They're a side with a lot of expectation, a lot of confidence at home, opening day. For Wrexham, all you want to do is not lose concentration and create silly mistakes. It actually turns out that it's the opposite team that needed to listen to that message a little more, because the Wrexham goal comes from a lapse of judgment, a lapse of concentration from Southampton, who probably should be a little bit more experienced. That's the quality that we've already said that Wrexham have recruited in Caoimhan Ferris, Josh Windass amongst them. That forward line is as good as any, really, in the Championship if you look at it. Josh Windass and Caoimhan Ferris, and they're more than capable of causing multiple problems, as was evident in what they just did for that goal. Caoimhan Ferris making the runs in behind, testing defences physically, and Josh Windass, the player with a little bit of extra quality in the finishing ability and the shooting ability to slot it home. It might just be a perfect partnership. Of course, Caoimhan Ferris made that £2 million move to Wrexham from Sheffield United at the just a couple of days ago. Actually, it was confirmed. It's been in a couple of different clubs, been everywhere and anywhere really over his career, Caoimhan Ferris. And at a club that shares his nationality, and now a chance there, but it was Josh Windass that strayed offside that occasion from that long ball in behind. A free kick will be given to the Saints. A quick update from the other games. In League 2, Tranmere have kind of soared into a 2-goal lead early in that one. Caoimhan Ferris and Josh Davison have scored with 2 goals within 3 minutes. After 22 minutes, they lead by 2-0 Tranmere against Shrewsbury in League 2, and it's goalless elsewhere. Also here in the Championship as well, it's goalless between Charlton and Watford and Coventry and Hull. And its only goal here in the Championship is in this game between Wrexham and Southampton. Josh Windass's penalty separating the two sides. Jack Stevens. Shea Charles in the pocket of space. Plays it out to Quashie. Down the line to Wellington. Nice work from Shea Charles to continue his run through the middle. As he worked it down the left, but was challenged, but fairly so, says the referee. As Flynn Downs wins it back for Southampton. Now Edwards. Getting forward, finding Sugawara. Options in red and white in front of him. If he can find them, Sugawara squeezes it through a little gap there to find Quashie. Now Wellington. Wellington with the early cross. It's a bit high for Adam Armstrong. Cleared away by Cody. Up and away again by Barnett. And that's going to be a free kick for a foul against the Wrexham defender. And thank you all for joining us. Great to have you with us this afternoon for this one between Southampton and Wrexham in the Championship. Don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications if you haven't done so already. You don't want to miss any of our action across the weekend and across the season here on LFS. Season 4 on LFS, and we're growing, continue to grow and continuing to improve, and we thank you all for joining us as we continue to push, as you can see up on the top right, if I can point to it, up there somewhere, top right of your screen. We're at 28,405 subscribers. We can keep moving that up. That would be greatly appreciated, and we thank you all for joining us this afternoon. Do hit that like button as well. It does help grow the stream and get more of us in here to enjoy these football matches together. As Wrexham have a free kick here. Lewis O'Brien is over it. It's in the Southampton half. Trying to figure out how far away it is. It's about 30, 35, 36 yards maybe. O'Brien's delivery with the left foot. It's in. It's a header onto the roof of the net. That was a very good opportunity. It was Cleworth. Yeah, great delivery by O'Brien. He was onside. It was Wellington that was playing everybody in there onside. And it was a good, confident header. Not Cleworth, sorry. It was Brunt. And that was a very good opportunity. Couldn't keep the header down, Lewis Brunt, but he got a clean header at it, and he headed it onto the roof of the net, but they were not too far away from finding a second goal there, Wrexham, from a set piece. That was far too close for comfort for Southampton, as they commit another cheap foul, and Flynn Downs again. That's a number of late fouls he's committed this afternoon, and Phil Parkinson relaying that message to the fourth official. Flynn Downs is certainly no stranger so far in this game to giving away free kicks. I think that's his third foul of the afternoon so far, so he's not got a yellow card yet, but he wouldn't be too far away from one. And referee James Bell will keep a very close eye. Going to be a yellow card for Phil Parkinson. Passionately relaying the message that he feels that maybe that Flynn Downs should be getting a yellow card, but it's the Wrexham head coach that gets it. And there you go, confirmation of that. Let's see what they can do from this set piece then, Wrexham. Fizz ball towards the box. Cleworth almost won the first header there, but it was well dealt with at the back post by the Saints, and they will win a throw in down the right hand side at the moment. Conversation there with his coaches there. Phil Parkinson on the sideline. He's got another shot of the Wrexham head coach. It's actually Wrexham that win the throw in here. Brunt. Flicked round the corner there by Dobson. Windass is the target, but cleared away by Stevens. Up the field, Adam Armstrong lets it bounce. Fraser trying to use his heading ability to get involved there, but he couldn't quite find Flynn Downs, who made the run. And now Quashie. Over the top it goes. Fraser tussling and battling with Brunt. And it's going to be a foul. And a free kick to Wrexham. It's Kakachi actually that was fouled there. Liberato Kakachi. The 24-year-old from New Zealand. Also joined Wrexham this summer for £2.2 million from Empoli. Of course, Empoli play in Italy, in Serie B. Danny Ward to take this free kick then for Wrexham. 33 minutes gone. Southampton 0, Wrexham 1. Josh Windas's penalty in the 22nd minute, the difference. Good header won by Cody. Around the corner by Kakachi. Not a great header in the air there from Edwards. He's given it away cheaply, and Windass tried to feed it wide there on that run, but couldn't quite find a teammate as they're battling to keep the ball there, Southampton, and they do win the free kick as the Dobson there, and they take it quickly here, catching Wrexham a little bit off guard. Lovely little jink, and wanted another foul, but cleared away by Danny Ward. The crowd are not happy with the referee with a couple of decisions here. It's a little collision, but there's very little in the contact there in Robinson and the Wrexham defender. Now Lewis O'Brien's fed it down the corner here for Kakachi, but Sugawara's got that one under control and hooked away. And there's a push in the back there of Ryan Fraser by Lewis Brunt. That is going to be a free kick to Southampton as the ball was in the air. Thor says, which team is playing better so far? Well, Wrexham have played pretty well having the lead, but you'd say Southampton have had the better kind of the play, but the opportunities wise, so that Wrexham could be 3-0 up here. Well, here's Southampton. Nice work of the ball from Adam Armstrong. He's got it. He cuts it back for Robinson, who couldn't get a shot off. And it's hooked away by Wrexham at a last-ditch defending again. And they're going to get the throw in here with a late header by Kwashi that didn't quite find its target. That was a little bit sloppy from Wrexham in that far corner, and Adam Armstrong just picked the pocket, I think, of Lewis O'Brien. And he almost paid the price, but in the end, Robinson couldn't get a shot off. But certainly, Wrexham have had the better of the goal-scoring chances. Windass hitting the crossbar, obviously scoring the penalty, and then Connor Cody's header early on, or Connor Cody's attack of the ball early on as well, and then that header from Lewis Brunt as well. They've had a good number of chances in front of goal so far, Wrexham. Kwashi. Wellington. On the turn was Robinson. Feeds it down the left channel for Ryan Fraser. Evading challenges. Works it out wide to Wellington. Now back to Robinson. Trying to keep the ball moving, Southampton. Keeping Wrexham guessing defensively. There's just no way through at the minute. That's another massive positive we've seen from Wrexham in the first half so far, as their out of possession play. They've had just 32% of the ball, Wrexham, but that's 68% of the time that they don't have the ball. They've looked confident, they've looked compact, they've looked disciplined, and they've looked patient, really, in being impatient in trying to win the ball back, not rushing out to things, being very smart about it, making Southampton open them up rather than trying to close Southampton down. And there's going to be an offside there against Adam Armstrong. We can confirm, by the way, Phil Parkinson was given a yellow card earlier for wanting Flynn Downs to get a yellow. Flynn Downs did ultimately get a yellow, but that was after Phil Parkinson got a yellow. We can confirm that is the case, that Flynn Downs did get a yellow card for his accumulation of fouls in this first half. And the first Southampton player to get a booking of the new season. Still goalless in those other two championship games, but there has been a breakthrough in one of the other League 2 games. Notts County against Salford. Salford now winning by a goal to nil. Adebola Oluwu has got the opener there, and Salford lead Notts County by a goal to nil. A Notts County side, actually, that were battling Wrexham for the National League promotion a few years ago, and look at where Wrexham have come, and look at where Notts County are. The comparison of those two who started in the same place, but their ultimate destinations are, and have been, very different. A reminder for you, we'll talk about the kind of where these two sides have been over the last few years at half-time. We'll have a little chat about that at the break, as well as we'll have another look at those Opta stats on their predictions for the season. What was that? Wasteful ball there by Quashie. As Barnett was dispossessed fairly down that right-hand side by Wellington. Here's Robinson. Nice work to hold the ball and play it across to Sugawara. Not much threat down the right-hand side from Southampton, I gotta say. Here's Flynn Downs, central. Right to Wellington on the left. Through to Charles. Back to Wellington, who continued his run down the left channel. Cuts it back to Flynn Downs on the edge of the box. Trying to eye up a chance of getting a shot off, and the shots from Adam Armstrong was well caught by Danny Ward. Low and hard, right at the keeper. And it was good reaction. Yeah, Flynn Downs was running into the box, and the ball just rolled towards Adam Armstrong, who on the half turn struck the ball low and hard, and he struck it right at the Wrexham keeper. It's all about getting themselves back on level terms for the Saints. For the second game in a row, the newly promoted side opening the scoring against the relegated side. Nice little movement here from Southampton. There's a player down, wanting a penalty. They're not going to get it as Flynn Downs wins it in the edge of the box. He's gone down, still playing into the box. Armstrong can't get a shooting opportunity. Wellington now, he goes down, but he's dived there. That's a clear dive. A little bit desperate there from Southampton. They keep the possession. And that is going to be a free kick, that one. Fourth time of asking, and it was Quashie that time that was brought down. They were wanting penalties, they wanted free kicks. See this again on Jay Robinson. That's not a penalty. It's a good challenge by Matty James. Flynn Downs one wasn't a foul, and then neither was the one wide as well with Wellington. All a little bit desperate from Southampton. They've got a free kick very far wide, almost a corner basically. It's that far wide and then towards that corner flag on the left-hand side. Another set piece for Wrexham to defend. Just less than 5 minutes to go with the first half. Southampton 0, Wrexham 1. And the Saints have been a little bit more intent with their attack and approach in the last few minutes. Now want to find themselves back on level terms. Here's a set piece chance to do it. Sugawara over it, I believe. Right-footed in swinger. Flicked and cleared away. With a header there from a Wrexham defender in Clayworth. Again, they make a little bit of a muddle of it, Southampton. Brought down by Downs as he hits it right at the player in front of him there. In Matty James. And now Wrexham will try and get forward with a good chance as Kiefer Moore tried the outside of the boot pass down the line. But it went straight out of play for a throw-in. No, we look at the stats so far. Yes, Southampton have had 69% of the ball. But if we look at the XG, 0.53 for Southampton to Wrexham's 1. Oh, goodness me. A late scramble there. Ryan Fraser got a toe to that. See this again. Good play down the left-hand side by Southampton. A little bit of a hopeful ball forward, really. It looked like it was going nowhere. And Ryan Fraser, the littlest man on the pitch, sliding to the ball, gets a toe to it, and it just goes evading the face of the goal. Danny Ward was in no man's land. It is a corner as he got a touch to it. Corner whipped in. And the header not cleared. Away from goal for the moment. Stevens tries to get it back towards goal, but wins the throw in. on that far left side. He was tracked all the way there by Conor Cody. That was a nervy moment from Wrexham. Chance from this throw-in for Southampton. Whether they'll go for the long throw, possibly. I think it's Quashie that's going to take it. There's a long throw into the box. Up and away by Kiefer Moore. And then thumped clear by Lewis O'Brien. And a little bit of pressure on Quashie here as he reverts it back to his goalkeeper in Gavin Bazunu. He did a little bit of footwork to evade Josh Windass in the press there. As I was saying, before that chance for Southampton, yes, they've had the vast majority of the possession, but in terms of their XG, it is less than half of Wrexham's XG. 1.31 for Wrexham, 0.60 for Southampton. You can see that in the top right corner of your screen. The green graphic on the top left, top right here. There we go. Top right corner, live stats graphic. That shows you all the key details. The possession stats are in Southampton's favour. Southampton are the team recognised in green. And blue is, of course, Wrexham in this graphic. And you look at the XG, which is the first small graphic there. The blue is a lot bigger, and that just shows that Wrexham's XG has been a lot higher than Southampton's. But if you look at the possession, which is the top one, it's a lot more green than blue, which shows that Southampton have had a lot more of the ball, but are doing a lot less with it at the moment, despite having more shots than Wrexham, but not being as effective with those opportunities. We'll have another long throw here, Southampton, on the wide left position. And high up on the left-hand side, Quashie will go for another long throw here. Looping up in the air, it's away again with the first contact from a Wrexham defender, Conor Cody, I believe. Southampton win the second ball, but again can't really make much work of the ball in the box, as there's going to be a stoppage here, as there's a Wrexham player down, and I think that might be Matty James. I don't actually think it is. We'll see this again. No, it was Josh Windass who took a clean shot to an area you don't want to take a clean shot to. Let's just say that. Right, the 45 minutes are up, but we'll see how long we'll be added on in a moment when we get back underway. This current stoppage, still goalless in those other two games between Charlton and Watford and Coventry and Hull, as they edge closer to half-time. In the League One, it's also goalless between Peterborough United and Luton, and Reading and Huddersfield. And then the only other games that have goals in them in the AFL is in League 2. Salford winning 1-0 away at Notts County, and Tranmere Rovers 2-up against Shrewsbury in those early kickoffs. Right, so we've waiting on the way of Josh Windass at the moment, but Phil Parkinson will be happy that his side are 1-0 up, but know that his side have a lot of work to do if they're going to come away with a result here against a good Southampton side. As Windass is back to his feet, which is good to see. Let's just say it was a little bit of an impact issue. It impacted an area that you don't want it to be impacting. I think you can gather what I mean by that without being very explicit and on the nose about it. As he's just on the sidelines trying to recover from that. As any man will know, it is not an easy thing to recover from. Here's Sugawara. The Southampton play on Wrexham down to 10 for the moment then. Edwards. Looping delivery there by Stevens round the back. And the shot off the post and cleared away off the line. My goodness me. Incredible moment there. Last ditch defending at its finest from Wrexham. Fabulous deep cross by Stevens. round the back it came. Trying to see who got the shot off. It's a late shot by... Trying to see who that was sliding in. The ball comes across. Armstrong has the shot off the post. Then comes back to him. Rebounds. Then has another shot, Armstrong. Cleared off the line by Connor Cody. And directed behind for the corner. Unbelievable moments. It all came from an unorthodox cross from Jack Stevens that caught Wrexham off guard a little bit. They've a corner to defend here. Sugawara, right-footed delivery. Bouncing down again. No first contact at all from Southampton. And now they're trying to clear it away. Wrexham calls a handball there from the Saints crowd, but nothing given by the referee. It's hooked as far away as they can get it there from the Wrexham defenders. By the way, we've not been given any additional time indication at the end of this first half, so it's up to the referee when this first half comes to an end. But we are in additional time. I just don't know how many minutes of additional time, but we are in additional time. Here is Lewis O'Brien then for Wrexham, looking to end the half strong. This is a nice move forward, and they've played this run to perfection again. It's Kiefer Moore, he's got an option across. It's Josh Windass who was there, but he couldn't find him. And Moore's cross was blocked. And it was going to be a corner, but there is the end of the first half. My goodness me, that would have been another great moment. See this again. Fabulous run again by Kiefer Moore. Timed his run to perfection once more. He's onside. And it's Josh Windass sneaking round the back. He is a major option. And Phil Parkinson is fuming at his players that didn't find the back of the net. Or at least wasn't a shot taken, and Kiefer Moore couldn't find his striking partner. But at half-time, it was those two that combined, ultimately, to get the opening goal, Josh Windass and Kiefer Moore. It is Windass's goal from the penalty spot that separates the sides at St Mary's. Half-time at Southampton 0, Wrexham 1. We'll be back to analyse that first half in just a couple of minutes. Sure, one last kick. This is going to be it. This is the moment. Vicario kicks this. And Liverpool are there. Liverpool are Premier League champions. And there it comes. Crystal Palace, for the very first time in their history, are FA Cup winners. Oh, he's found the net. Oh, what a goal. Kvaratskhelia is through. Wants to add a fourth. And does so. Ahmad, oh my goodness me! That is absolutely unbelievable! Rice again. Oh! You thought he couldn't beat the first one. He's gone and bettered it. Another whip ball in. The header is in by Virgil van Dijk. Incredible! Welcome back to EFL Championship Live here on LFS. Half-time, it is Southampton 0, Wrexham 1. At the break, Josh Windass's penalty in the 22nd minute is the difference between the two sides. At the break... Apologies. Bit of wind there. 12 minutes to go until the second half. And really, if you to circumvent, the new word I'm going to use, circumvent that first half and really just break it down... It was, I think, very similar to what we saw last night in the Birmingham Ipswich game. If you joined us for that last night, what I noticed in that game was a side that had expectation, had pressure, had a little bit of rejigging to do in Ipswich, struggling in the first half to get into their rhythm, to get playing to the way they want to play and playing the way they will play. this season. I think similar themes are occurring here with Southampton in the fact that the first half, they've got a lot of quality, they've got a lot of good players, and they're actually playing some decent stuff. But I think early in the game, they just kind of got a little bit caught off guard with the fact that Wrexham come out with a little bit more energy and a little bit more aggression to start the game, and a little bit more confident in starting the first 5, 10, 15 minutes. I think that built up, and they were getting good chances, Wrexham, from set pieces, good crosses, good moments in front of goal. And then they, of course, got their one-on-one chance, their penalty, their goal. And it kind of swung the game back, actually, in Southampton's favour, in a sense, in the fact that once they went 1-0 down, they decided, right, we're going to build back into this, we're going to try and get back on level terms. And to no real great avail, obviously, because they're trailing at half-time. But I think certainly in the last 5-10 minutes of that half, they came alive, Southampton. They were creating very, very good chances. They were putting a lot of pressure on Wrexham defensively. They were getting their attackers in the right area. They were keeping the possession strongly. They were doing everything right, but find the back of the net towards the end of that first half. But I think if it keeps going as it is, Wrexham will have a very tough task on their hands to keep Southampton out in that second half. I think that it's as simple as that. Really, they've played very well so far. Wrexham, I think they've done well, both in and out of possession. I think when they've got onto the ball, they've been direct. They've been kind of fulfilling that pressure, in a sense, on Southampton and that back line, certainly. And that's where the goal comes from. Pressuring the centre-backs into making mistakes. Pressuring them into moments where they're one-on-one with two very, very good attackers in Josh Windass and Caoimhan Ferris. And as I said, that's where the goal comes from. Caoimhan Ferris makes a run in behind, perfectly timed, beautifully played ball. He runs in one-on-one. There's two defenders in cover for Southampton. They get back. Caoimhan Ferris ready to get a shot off. He knows there's going to be contact, so he's smart with it. And the contact does come from Ronnie Edwards. He pushes him down. Really clumsy, really silly, really naive. All of that combined. And it was just a little bit unnecessary from Southampton's point of view. The referee clearly seen it. It was quite clearly a penalty, and I think it's one of those moments that I said during the half, and I said very early, about concentration. And I think they lacked concentration there, Southampton. They were a little bit too eager to win the ball. They didn't actually attempt to win the ball in the end because Ronnie Edwards just shoved the player over. At no point was he getting the ball. And Jack Stevens was in cover. He could have tried something, but he was a little late to it. I think it was just a little bit clumsy from Southampton defensively. But again, perfectly worked by Caoimhan Ferris, making that run in behind and causing problems and asking questions of the defence early on in the game. And, you know, that's what the best players do. That's what can win you games of football. That's what can get you results away from home in tough spots and tough moments in big games against good opponents. Those little smart plays, those little increments of difference, which experience at that forward line gives you, and experience with Caoimhan Ferris gives you for Wrexham, it can be the difference across the course of a season between you being a relegation battler and a team that might have a chance at pushing for playoffs. Those differences are a lot slimmer than what they were previously and a lot less than what they were in previous seasons, I think. But you've got to say, for all the want of Wrexham, and they had some really great chances in that first half. The goal from Josh Windass, by the way, the penalty was coolly taken. Composure at its finest. But if we look at Southampton across that first half, they had some really good moments themselves, some really good goal-scoring opportunities, a couple of chances with Adam Armstrong, some really great last-ditch challenges from Connor Cody, and some kind of clearances off the line, some good saves by Danny Ward. They hit the woodwork once or twice. There's been a lot of opportunity and a lot of moments for Southampton in that first half, and the vast majority of those good moments came in the last 5-10 minutes. So there's a lot of promise for Southampton, despite trailing, despite maybe not playing their best stuff in that first half. They certainly played a lot better towards trying to get a win in this game, and certainly attacking Wrexham towards the end of the end of the half than they did at the start. But we'll see how they start the second half in about 6 minutes' time. Right, so half-time at Southampton 0, Wrexham 1. Elsewhere across the Championship so far, last night we saw Birmingham return to the Championship, as did Ipswich, of course, opposite ends opposite directions, of course, but Birmingham promoted as League One winners. They claimed a point against Ipswich, although it's probably the other way around. Ipswich gathered a point off Birmingham, as Birmingham were on course for the win, barring that late penalty from Ipswich. It was a Jay Stansfield goal early in the second half that opened the scoring for Birmingham, but it was a George Hurst penalty in the 95th minute that rescued a point for the Tractor Boys and Kieran McKenna's side on the return to the Championship in a tough place to go in St Andrews under the lights last night. Already this afternoon we've seen the only goal of the afternoon so far is the one that we've watched here at St Mary's, but the other two games still goalless. Charlton 0, Watford 0 and Coventry 0, Hull 0 at half-time in both of those games, which is good for Charlton, of course, newcomers to the division. And we'll see what comes of that come the full-time whistle to those games. Right. Let's have a quick look once again at promotion and relegation. Sheffield United, the favourites, alongside Leicester and Ipswich, all to go right back up. Coventry are amongst those who were in the Championship last season, who are the favourites to be involved in a promotion fight alongside Southampton and West Brom in that moment. And Middlesbrough there as well, alongside Millwall, Bristol City and Blackburn. In terms of relegation, Oxford are the favourites to go right back down. And there's their manager there, watching on and not looking very smiley. There, Watford also the joint favourites to be going down to League One, which would be a shock for Watford. Wrexham are amongst those, as well as Charlton, who were both promoted last season, and Preston in the top 5. Right, before the second half gets underway, let's have a quick look at where these two sides that we're watching at half-time have been over the last 5 seasons. So there's Southampton's trajectory over the last few seasons. In 21-22, they stayed in the Premier League in 15th. Finishing on 15th in 21-22, and they finished that season, by the way, in 15th on 40 points. They then went into the Premier League in the next season knowing it would be more difficult, the 22-23 season, and they were relegated. They were finished 20th with 25 points, just 6 wins, 36 goals across a 38-game season in that 22-23 campaign. Then they were back in the Championship. The season after, in the 23-24, they finished 4th with 87 points. In 4th, got to the playoff final against Leeds United, and won the playoff final, garnering a trip back to the Premier League alongside Ipswich and Leicester. And then last season in the Premier League, it was as dismal as could be in a return to the Premier League, finishing 20th once again, heading right back down to the Championship, but an even worse, less than half of the points tally that they were the last time they were in the Premier League, with just 12 points. Just four less wins, only 2 wins across the 38-game season, and just 26 goals scored, with 86 goals conceded across last season, and that is now why they're back in the Championship this season. It's been a topsy-turvy last 2 years for the Saints. For Wrexham, it couldn't have gone any better. Over the last few seasons, they started the 21-22 campaign in the National League, going for promotion. They finished 2nd in the National League that season in 21-22, failing to achieve promotion, losing out in the playoffs. Got 88 points, 6 points off Stockport, who did get promoted. Then they went into the 22-23 campaign, battling Notts County, and ultimately beat them 4 points clear at the top, 111 points in a 46-game season for Wrexham to win the National League. They then went up to League 2 in 23-24, secured promotion from League 2, finishing 2nd, automatic promotion, 88 points, 26 wins out of 46 games, finished behind Stockport again as well, coincidentally. And then into League 1 last season and finished in the top 2, securing automatic promotion for the 3rd successive season, finishing runners-up to Birmingham, who run away with it, but 92 points was their best tally since the National League win, and a very good performance, 27 wins in 46 games, and that is what has them in the Championship this season. Right, the second half of this new Championship season gets underway in this game between Southampton and Wrexham, and all of the lunchtime kickoffs when we come back in just a minute. Do stay with us. Welcome back to EFL Championship Live here in LFS. We're almost ready to go for the second half here at St Mary's, where Wrexham, on their return to the second tier of English football, are leading by a goal to nil at the break. Josh Windass with the penalty. Elsewhere in the Championship, it's 0-0 those other two lunchtime games. Across the EFL, the lunchtime, 7 live games kicked off at 12:30. 3 in the Championship, 2 in League One, which are both goalless at the break. Peterborough United against Luton. Luton returned to League One after being relegated from the Championship last season. They're drawing 0-0 away from home there. And Reading against Huddersfield is goalless at half-time in those games. Into League Two, and there's goals in this one. Notts County being beaten by Salford by a goal to nil at the break. And Tranmere 2-0 up against Shrewsbury. Don't forget, more Championship action later this afternoon as Sheffield United take on Bristol City, two sides who met in the playoffs last year, and they take on each other a little later at 5:30. Right, we're back here at St Mary's, ready to go for another 45 minutes of action. And Wrexham, despite having the lead, it was Southampton that ended the half the better of the two teams before the interval. Can they continue that momentum as we get back underway here on the South Coast? Don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications. We're on the road to 30,000 subscribers. If you can help us on the road to that, that would be greatly appreciated. And do hit that like button because it does help the channel. There's a good lot of you in here, so if it does help, if you can, it's free. It's free, so why not? If you're enjoying the stream and enjoying being with us, then do hit that like button. It would be massively appreciated. Thank you very much indeed. Right, you get back on the way, and the task is clear for Southampton. Continue what you were doing at the end of that first half into the second half. Keep creating chances, keep putting pressure on the Wrexham defence as Josh Windass wins a free kick there in a good area. And keep Wrexham at bay. They've always got threat, they've always got opportunity to cause problems. It's all about Southampton managing that in the second half and overcoming it. And of course, as we say, returning to a division, all of the sides that we've watched so far, the two sides we watched last night. Oh, the chance here. Oh, Josh Windass was offside from that moment. That looked a little bit strange, that did. And the fact from that set piece, they almost made something work there. Wrexham, but he was offside, Josh Windass, so it didn't really matter. But as I was saying, so far, all of the sides we've watched, the game last night and then the game this afternoon, all sides who weren't in the division last year, of course, either in the Premier League or in League One, respectively. Here's a chance for Southampton. They've cut it back across. The chance to go. Oh, it's hit the side netting. Calls a handball there from Southampton. Not going to get it. I think was it Jay Robinson that had the shot? Oh, Shea Charles actually that had the shot. And that is handball against Clayworth, but his arm's down by his side, in my opinion. I don't think it is a handball. Certainly the officials didn't believe so, but it deflected it wide. It was accidental. Certainly wasn't a handball in my opinion. Corner whipped in. Headed away again. First contact by Wrexham. Always getting first contact to those set pieces. Southampton. Bodies around the box. They're keeping it alive again here. And that was nicely well worked by Sugawara to keep it in the move. Flynn Downs fizzing one into the box. The header back across. The flick on is too high from Adam Armstrong and goes wide of the goal. Another good opportunity for Southampton. Again, keeping the ball alive, keeping the pressure on, and that's a good ball. Fabulous switch ball by Flynn Downs. Headed back across, and then it was Adam Armstrong. He was just reaching back to get his head to the ball. And in the end, it went wide. We see this handball incident again. Shea Charles chops onto his left foot, trying to go for the shot. I think it would have been on target if it didn't have contact with the hand of Clayworth, but his arm was by his side in a natural position, in my opinion, and I think the referee believes that too, and therefore didn't point to the spot. But I think that's the correct decision on balance. And it certainly shows there's intent in Southampton to start the second half the way they left off the first half. Christian Manda? Christian Manda says Cody and Ward solid. They are indeed, and there's a lot of players through this Wrexham team that are really proven at this level or even higher. You know, you've look at the starting 11 tonight: Lewis O'Brien, Kiefer Moore, Josh Windass, Connor Cody, of course as well, Danny Ward. A real spine of the team that are very experienced at this level. Here's Kiefer Moore down the left-hand side, chops onto his right foot. He's got bodies and options, and as he tried to get it towards the box, he was blocked off and stays down, but there's no foul, and there's no need to stop the game as it's not a head injury, so Southampton have a move forward. He's still down on the edge of the box there. Referee still playing on as the ball gets all the way forward, but he's going to stop it now as the ball ends up into the hands of Danny Ward, and he's going to just check on Kiefer Moore here. Seems to be having a little issue, so he's going to receive a bit of treatment. See that moment again. He just had the shot, and he just... Yeah, there's just a block there from Shea Charles, and as he hit the ball, Shea Charles connected with it. They both collided with the ball, and his ankle kind of bent the opposite direction there, Kiefer Moore. It's a painful one, but in no way a foul. But it is a painful one for the player to take. He's going to receive a bit of treatment for the moment. Well, their last league encounter, I said about this, the last time these two played each other was in 1979-80 League Cup. The last time they played each other in a league game was all the way back in April 1960, 65 years ago, in the third tier of English football, with the Welsh side, of course, Wrexham. Excuse me. Excuse me. Goodness. Wrexham coming out 2-1 winners on that occasion. Goals from Ron Harbertson and Bernard Evans, securing a 2-1 win for Wrexham against Southampton all the way back in 1960. And there's a man who played for this football club, Adam Lallana, taking up a coaching role, of course, in Will Still's coaching staff, and a man who worked so well in that Southampton midfield for so many years, and in so many different midfields over the years. Adam Lallana, and he's now inside the coaching staff of the Southampton backroom staff, and starting his young coaching career. And Will Still, he's not old, very far from it. And we talked a little bit about Will Still, of course, his first real job in England. His first job in England, of course, he was in France for a good while at Reims, and then Lens up until the end of last season. He spent all of last season at Lens, winning 16 of his 37 games in charge. Overall in his career, he's won 43% of his games, 125 matches as a manager. The 32-year-old, born in October 1992. Some of the players that are on the field are older than the Southampton manager this afternoon. Including some of his own players as well. So Kiefer Moore back to his feet, but he's on the sideline, so whether he will return to the play or not, we will see. They might just be eyeing up a substitution here in a moment, Wrexham, as Southampton have a free kick down the right. They are readying a sub. Are the visitors. Phil Parkinson wanting to rejig it a little bit. Looks like Sam Smith is the one getting ready. Here is Jay Robinson for Southampton. Off the left-hand side, arriving into the box. Squares it back to Stevens. Nice Sugawara. Round the corner to Fraser. Not the byline, has to cut it back to Sugawara. Edwards now to Sugawara again. Tried the cross and it was blocked by Kikachi. Kept in play though by Yukinari Sugawara. Nice Shea Charles. Robinson directly running. Chips it across the box, but bobbling into the hands of Danny Ward, who saw it all the way and was confidently dealing with that little moment. But a nice run by Jay Robinson there. He has looked bright, the 18-year-old, born in 2007. scored in the club friendly against Brighton a few last weekends. Actually wasn't on the field for very long in that game, but did get his goal within a couple of minutes of coming on. Speaking of coming on, Sam Smith has been is going to replace Kiefer Moore in that front line of Wrexham. Southampton have a bit of space to move down the left-hand side. Here is Robinson. Into the box again. He's poked it across. The header is direct, but straight at Danny Ward from Shea Charles. As Ward unleashes a long one for Sam Smith to chase, but it's nicely dealt with by Stevens and Quashie in cover. Southampton already starting the second half brightly. 3 shots. None of those on target as of yet. No shots on target of the second half. They've had 91% of the ball so far in the first 9.5 minutes of this half. So they are dominant. Quashie. Wellington. Back to Stevens. Now, Sugawara. And that was a loose ball by Yukinari Sugawara out wide to Fraser. Unforced error there. And it goes out for a Wrexham throw. Well, these Saints fans are not too an uncommon occurrence to lose or fail to win on the opening game of the season. They've won just one of their last 11 opening fixtures of a league campaign, Southampton, drawing 4 and losing 6 of those other 10. That the sole victory came during their only championship fixture in that occasion. Hold this a moment. Wrexham are in behind with Sam Smith. Very good challenge by Stevens. And the flag stayed down, and it's going to be a Wrexham corner. See this again. Good little step in. And he's onside. It's Quashie that plays him on, and Sam Smith makes a lovely run in behind. Takes a good first touch and then shows a bit to Stevens, who puts it out for the corner. Lovely little run. Sam Smith coming on as almost a straight swap for Kiefer Moore, and that was what Kiefer Moore was in the side to do a little earlier. And he did it with quite success. Sam Smith doing the same. Corner to Wrexham. Left-hand side. Their first corner of the second half. Only their second corner of the game. Right-footed, lifted in. It's deep. It's too deep. And it's going to bounce out the other side for a goal kick. As I was saying about Southampton, just one of their 11 opening fixtures of a league campaign. Their sole victory came in their only championship opening game fixture in that occasion, and that was a 2-1 win over Sheffield Wednesday in August of 2023. That was their only win on opening day of the last 11 league campaigns. That's just remarkably crazy how that is such a bad record for them. Drawing 4 and losing 6. Stevens. Quashie. Now Wellington. Nice little ball inside to Flynn Downs, who rolls it round the corner. And here's a chance for Adam Armstrong in behind. He works it across. But from that narrow angle, it's a difficult one to get right. And he forces it wide there, Adam Armstrong. Again, fabulous little one-touch football from Southampton. Beautiful little reverse ball by Flynn Downs. Not even looking at where the ball is going. He knows where to put it, and he does it perfectly. Good run by Adam Armstrong. Good opportunity. I think Brunt did enough to put him off, and the narrow angle might have just made it even more difficult for Adam Armstrong. And that's going to be a goal kick, so Danny Ward will thump up the fields. The head tennis there as Manny James steps in to flick the ball forward, but recovered by Quashie. And then bundled over was Shea Charles by Dobson. That's going to be a free kick to the Saints. Well, Will Still is about to make a few changes to his side. Having a chat with one or two of those players that he's going to bring on in a few moments. And we have our first goal of those League One fixtures this afternoon. We have another goal to tell you about as well in one of those other games. Luton have taken the lead away at Peterborough United. Madge Jewel Anderson has opened the scoring there in the 60th minute. And in League 2, Salford have now doubled their lead over Notts County. That's goal scored by Kelly Namai. 2-0 to Salford. Right, here in the Championship, a double change incoming for Southampton at this moment. Yukinari Sugawara, he's going to be replaced here. He's played well. He's going to be replaced alongside Adam Armstrong. So a double substitution for the Saints. It's going to see Mateus Fernandez come on alongside the new man, Damien Downs, the 21-year-old American, joined from FC Köln just this summer for the £7 million. Damien Downs, and he is on for his debut at Southampton, and Mateus Fernandez also joining him on the fields. Mateus Fernandez, who joined Southampton last season for £12.4 million from Sporting. A very good first season. He was probably one of their bright sparks last campaign, despite it being a very dull and dismal campaign for the Saints, but he was probably one of their fruitful players. I remember watching a game against Liverpool, Southampton against Liverpool. I think was it here at St Mary's, and he caused some right problems along with the striker that day, Paul Onuachu. Do you remember him? Paul Onuachu. I don't know whether he's still at Southampton or not. I haven't quite checked that, actually. He isn't. But he certainly was causing problems for players last season. And he moved to Trabzonspor, actually, Paul Onuachu. Just if you're interested. 61 minutes gone. Southampton 0, Wrexham 1. A lot of work still to do for the Saints to try and find a way back into this game, but so far so good for Wrexham. They've looked bright, despite being under the cosh a lot for this second half. There's a nice little flick there by Damien Downs. He kept the ball well, finding it to Shea Charles. Chops across his man. Charles tried to work it back into the centre, but well shielded by the Wrexham midfield. And their clearance up the line there, Wrexham. We'll find the centre back there for Southampton, Joshua Kwashi. There's no doubting the possession stats of Southampton. It's still 89% of the ball in the first 17 minutes of this second half. They have been truly dominant, but without any end product so far in this second half. Overall, in the whole game, 5 shots on target from their 18 shots. Compare that to Wrexham, who've had 7 shots, just 1 shot on target from Wrexham, and that was from the penalty. That was how Ipswich got their point last night. With the 1 shot on target from the penalty spot away from home. Could it be a building block to maybe Wrexham claiming all 3 points away from home on the opening weekend of the season? We will still wait and see. By the way, they're still deadlocked in those 2 other championship games at the Valley and at the CBS Arena. We'll update you if anything changes in those. I would like there to be goals because I've got a stats line from one of those games, or from both of those games, that I want to give you. If we don't, if it comes to worst, we'll talk about it anyway. Wellington across the box there, a little bit bobbly. He wanted a penalty as well as he went down as he was crossing it, but referee again saw no foul. Fernandez. Nice work to find Stevens. Told to shoot by the crowd, decides not to. Smart probably. Ryan Fraser. Back to Kwashi. Swinging it back out to Ryan Fraser, keeping the ball moving again, Southampton. That's not been their issue. Here's Fraser, lovely little diagonal, but well intercepted by Connor Cody, who spotted the challenge and made it cleanly, but nicely won back here in the midfield by Charles. Wellington now. Robinson worked it round the corner, but not on the same page as Wellington, but forcing the little bit unorthodox of a clearance from Ryan Barnett. All the pressure on Wrexham, but they still have that 1-goal lead heading into the final 26 minutes here at St Mary's. Ball over the top by Charles, just a little much, but a thumbs up there from Flynn Downs, who made that run, just not quite working out in the end there. Well, a reminder for you, Sheffield United take on Bristol City in our final game of the weekend in the Championship here in LFS, as we watch those two face off at Bramall Lane. Two sides, as I said, who met in the playoffs last year, and they open their seasons against each other a little later on. 5:30 kickoff from Bramall Lane. And we'll also have the results from all the 3 o'clock games that we will bring you in that one a little later as well. We'll bring this game to a close first this lunchtime. Matty James does well to intercept a loose pass there from Jack Stevens, and a little bit of room here for Wrexham. Dobson holds on to it well. Matty James a little bit forceful through the middle. It's Windass who's scrapping to keep the ball, and he scraps well in winning a free kick for Wrexham. That's what that experience brings as well, in moments where they need a little bit of respite. There's players in the team, there's experienced heads in the team to just win that free kick, get them up the field and give them something to attack to Wrexham. They've had just 2 shots so far in the second half, just 13% of the ball. They take that free kick, it's worked into the box, it's a little bit awkward, but it's hooked away by Ronnie Edwards in the defence there of the Saints. But Wrexham have it back again, and all the way back it goes to Danny Ward, who will pump it up the field. Windass making the run, but nicely dealt with there at the back by Southampton again. Brought down here by Wellington. Now Shea Charles. The crowd wanting a little bit more energy from their team. Feeling it's a little bit one-paced at the minute. Charles. Nice little flick ball to Flynn Downs, but a little bit undercooked as he was challenged. And now Wrexham on the move here, and they've played a ball in behind. It's Sam Smith tussling, but a very good challenge by Kwashi. Strong in his defending, holding off Sam Smith in that one-on-one tussle, keeping the ball for Southampton. Wellington now crosses the halfway line. Robinson back to Charles. Now Downs, Flynn Downs that is. Ryan Fraser whips one across to the box, headed away by Cody. Worked back in by Charles. Now Wellington. Charles again, getting it off quickly, finding Jay Robinson on the turn. Robinson into the box, and the shot is too close to Danny Ward. The space opened up for the 18-year-old, and he just couldn't find a corner. He hit it right at the keeper. Lovely little dinking footwork to get a chance to have the shot, and as he took the shot, it was just a little bit too close to the very experienced Danny Ward. There's a lot of excitement there as the ball in behind here for Damien Downs. Works it back to Wellington. More promise for Southampton there with that chance for Robinson. Here's Wellington. Works it inside to Robinson again. That's a snatch one by Fernandez, but again Danny Ward is there to claim. That was a one arrowing to the corner on the turn. Mateus Fernandez tries to sneak it to the near post, but Danny Ward had it covered. Gathered well once again, but they're getting shots off in good areas now. Southampton testing Danny Ward. Need to keep that going. Dobson for Wrexham. Barnett. Dobson again. Chipped over the top. Sam Smith with a connection with his shoulder, but he couldn't quite keep the ball. And Southampton had the myriad of bodies defensively to deal with that situation. Now they want to turn defence into attack, the Saints. Matheus Fernandes running the show at the middle, in that middle of the field. Switch ball out to Wellington again. Goes for the early cross around the corner for Damien Downs, but cleared away by Connor Cody. Up in the air and away by Josh Windass, but brought down by Kwashi once more. Well, one-way traffic is the perfect explanation of what this second half has been so far. It's been all Southampton in an attacking sense, but still they're yet to find a breakthrough against this rigid and disciplined Wrexham defence. Here is Kwashi. Deftly round the corner, finds Shea Charles in the space. Just can't get a good touch on it as Wellington battled and winning that battle. On this left side, fizzes one towards the box. Cleared away by Matty James. But again, it's all back to Southampton. Flynn Downs now. Stevens. Matheus Fernandes goes for the early cross. Too far. And into the hands of Danny Ward, who gathered comfortably. 20 minutes to go. Southampton 0, Wrexham 1. Josh Windass's penalty at the minute is the difference, as there's a couple of players down. Connor Cody's down, and there's a Southampton player was down in Wellington. He's back to his feet. Barnett's struggling a little bit. Maybe the pressures of a lot of strong, intense defending might be coming true. We'll see what Connor Cody is like if he can continue. They're going to make some changes here in the minute. Wrexham. We have more information to tell you. Shrewsbury should have been shown a red card. Second yellow for William Boyle. 2 yellow cards in the space of 2 minutes for him. So Shrewsbury down to 10 and 2-0 down away at Tranmere. So a terrible game there for them. Notts County are trying to fight back against Salford. They've got a goal back at Jaden Luker with the goal, has it 2-1 at the minute, and still all the same in League One and here in the Championship as well. As changes are afoot then in this one for both teams. Wrexham, Southampton, going to go first. They've already made 2 subs for Wrexham. They're going to make 2 more. Flynn Downs and the fullback Wellington are going to be replaced by Archer and Manning. And Wrexham are going to make changes of their own. It's going to see Ryan Hardy come on. Of course, the centre forward on his debut. Played for Plymouth last season. If we remember, I think he was the one that scored that incredible goal in the FA Cup for Plymouth in that dream season. That dream cup set. And also coming on is going to see Longman. Ryan Longman. So Ryan Longman and Ryan Hardy replacing Josh Windass and Ryan Barnett there for Wrexham. Both sides going to their benches to try and give them something. For Wrexham to try and keep them alive, and for Southampton to try and find a goal from somewhere. As that early cross by Ryan Manning already bearing fruit. And that was a good opportunity. A good cross that was cleared behind by Ryan Hardy for a corner. Another corner then for Southampton. Another chance to try and pressure this Wrexham defence. Looping header is right into the hands of Danny Ward again. It was Jack Stevens. It was leaning back again. He had to try and dig out the pace of it. And he got a good connection to it. Just wasn't enough to take it past Danny Ward. Kikachi brings it down well. O'Brien. Haven't said much about those Wrexham players because they haven't had much possession in the second half. But here is O'Brien. Now Dobson. Out wide it goes to the right hand side here. Longman with a cross. It's a good cross. He's going to keep it alive here, are they, Wrexham? Not just about. That's a good bit of challenging from Ryan Fraser back there. Digging it out to win it up the field. Good work from Robinson to work it alive and keep it alive. Although a little bit sloppy there. And Ryan Hardy stepping in to win the ball back for Wrexham. And they win a free kick down this left-hand side from Mateus Fernandez committing that foul on the number 27 there. Lewis O'Brien. Well, now a free kick for Wrexham, and after this we'll have a chat about the stats because it is pretty damning for the Saints so far, the way the stats are going. Delivery in by O'Brien, flicked on by Connor Cody around the corner, but no real threat from that set piece ultimately, as they're having to do a bit of a rescue job here to make sure they're not going to be countered upon. There's a thump ball by Manning, well dealt with there by Longman to deny Damien Downs a chance at running at goal. And hooked away once again by Lewis Brunt, sorry. Now the ball down the left-hand side and ushered out by Clayworth for the Wrexham throw. 15 minutes or so to go. Still Wrexham who lead by a goal to nil. Let's then recap on what way things have gone. So overall, across the 75 minutes so far, Southampton have had 74% possession, so 3/4 of the ball for the vast majority of the game. Oh, this is a chance in behind here. It's Lewis O'Brien. He's got past his man. He's one-on-one. He's brought down again. It's Stevens. That's a fair challenge. That's how you defend one-on-one. Fabulous from Jack Stevens. And if that had found the net from Lewis O'Brien, that would have been game over. And that was a must-needed tackle by Jack Stevens, the Southampton captain, giving his team a chance. Staying in the game. This, again, it's from a throw-in. It's really poorly dealt with by Southampton. It's a good ball by Ryan Hardy. Losing the header there, Ronnie Edwards. In behind it goes O'Brien. And then Stevens has to come and cover. Just ushers him out of the way. And the ball bobbles its way back to Gavin Bazunu, who gathers. That's good, strong, confident defending by Jack Stevens. Very well played. And that was another hearts and mouth moment for those Southampton fans. A free kick for them. Cleared away by the edge of the box, really. Another chance at a fizz ball in. Again cleared away by Wrexham. Manning recycles. Fernandez. Fraser. Into the box it goes. Wanting a penalty. It's just going to be a goal kick. The referee shows no issue there. A fair challenge between Wrexham defender there. Kouachi to not be given that penalty. But as we talk about already in this game, it's about moments of concentration. It's about lapses in concentration that can cost you in these games. And apologies for the little upset there once again. As I said about concentration, that's the difference. That can be the difference at this level. One moment can change this result for Wrexham and this outcome on what has been a very good defensive performance, you've got to say. When we talk about Southampton's stats again, 74% of the ball, 2.08 XG, more than enough goal opportunities, 21 shots, 8 of those on target. You know, only one big chance really clearly made out of that, and that was the Adam Armstrong opportunities in the first half. You'd really to take into consideration they have played well. They just haven't had the finish. And we're going to make a change here. Ronnie Edwards, who committed that foul that gave Wrexham their penalty in the first half, is going to be replaced by Ross Stewart. So another attacker on for Will Still to try and get them a chance here late on to try and win this game. Here is Ryan Manning. Manning works it into the box, ball across the box, bouncing around. It's scrambled clear by Wrexham again, but it's all the right things right up until the final moment for Southampton. Their build-up's great, but up until the final moment. Fraser now down the right-hand side, and Robinson wins a throw-in down the right. Well, Wrexham are unbeaten across the last 10 league games, conceding multiple goals in just one of those matches. They last had a longer unbeaten stint in the AFL between March and August 2003, which was 18 games, won 7 and drawn 3 of their last 10 across last season. And they're going to go for another one of these long throws here in a moment. The Saints, with less than 10 minutes now to go, there's a little bit more caution to the wind. No time for any of this patience. Quashie's long throw. Not clearly defended as it's cleared away by Fraser, actually. Manning gets it back in. A bit of head tennis as they're clearing their lines again, Wrexham. But nicely worked by Fraser, and Quashie has to get back. They keep the possession, Southampton. Once again, they can't really breach Wrexham at all. Charles trying to work it in between the lines. Holding the ball up there. Dobson for company along with Kakachi and Longman, sorry. And the ball actually stayed in play there, despite the claims of the Southampton fans in that end, and the players as well. Didn't look like it went out from what I could see. And Manning with the ball in. Oh, it's still in and around the area. And they're trying to keep it alive and not really successfully doing so. Southampton, every ball into the box, every chance, every fight is coming here from Wrexham. They're doing everything in their power to keep Southampton at bay. And so far, so good for them. So far, so good indeed. I do apologise for the break-up in the system at the minute. This is beyond a joke. Beyond ridiculous. Well, it looks like James McLean's coming on for Wrexham. More movement in the Wrexham team to keep them on course for what will be a massive result if they can get it done. A throw-in coming down that right-hand side for Southampton. They're going to keep pushing. They're going to keep throwing everything they've got at this. They've got no choice but to. They're going to go for another one of these long throws with Quashie. Let's see what he can deliver. Once again. Long throw into the box, and Danny Ward had it covered. He was watching it all the way, and he knew what was coming, and he dealt with it fabulously well there, Danny Ward, once again. Danny Ward is what they're singing in the away end here at St Mary's. Here's another chance. Whoa, walked across the box. Longman got a contact to that. It could have been dangerous, but he got it away. Challenge there. That is going to be a free kick to Southampton. O'Brien thought he got the ball. That's what he's saying to the referee, but the free kick was given and quickly taken by Southampton, who have got time is not on their side. Fraser, right side, works the ball into the box. The flick-on header is poor from Jay Robinson. Nowhere near the target. And that ends up going out for a goal kick. When we talked about Wrexham, this is their first second-tier game in 43 years and 86 days. It's the longest gap between matches in England's second tier since Doncaster in 2008. That was a 50-year gap. 43 years since they were last in this division, or a division equivalent in the English football pyramid to this division. Oh, a little bit of a mistake here at the back. This could end it. It's going to go wide. Big save by Caoimhan Ferris in a big moment. Another lapse of concentration in the Southampton backline that could have cost them. A little bit of a weird flick by Quashie. Latching upon it was Ryan Hardy. And he got in the area. He tried to slot it home. It was going to that corner. But a fabulous strong hand from Caoimhan Ferris denies him. Massive moments. A second goal for Wrexham would have been game over. They have a corner, by the way. There's O'Brien to take the corner. Left-footed into the box. Up and away by Quashie. Back to Lewis O'Brien. Dobson back to O'Brien. Dobson. A little bit short and low, and the flicked effort on the edge of the box was well over the bar by Brunt. As we hit the 88th minute mark. 2 minutes of normal time plus the additional. Southampton 0, Wrexham 1. Could they snatch a massive opening weekend victory, Phil Parkinson's team, against one of the promotion favourites? Charge goes down under a challenge. It's going to be a free kick. Dobson the one penalised. Quick update from around the ground. Luton 2-0 up away at Peterborough. Huddersfield 1 up away at Reading. In League 2, it is still 2-1 to Salford against Notts County. And Tranmere Rovers now 4-0 up against 10-man Shrewsbury in that one in League 2. And still goalless in those other two championship games. Charlton Watford and Coventry Hull are still goalless. Free kick here for the Saints. As we're about to hit the 90th minute, it's about 29 yards out. Looks like it's Ryan Manning over it. Danny Ward, who's made a couple of big saves, will he need to make another one here? He's locked on the ball. Locked on where he's going to put it, Manning. Hits it left-footed. Oh, what a goal! Ryan Manning. Fabulous goal from the set piece. And Southampton are back level. They couldn't in open play breach Wrexham, but they could from a set piece. And they're dancing in the stands. All that built up tension and frustration of knocking on the door all afternoon with no reprieve. And a wonderful free kick from 29 yards out. Left-footed, absolute perler from Ryan Manning. Fabulous finish. He spotted Danny Ward. He knew he was a little to his right. He had to get it up and over the wall and back down. And perfectly wrapping it into the back of the net. Fabulous goal. And Will Still punches the air in celebration. Right on the stroke of 90. Ryan Manning Could he have rescued a point for the Saints? 1-1. And James McLean's committed a foul here right off the kickoff on Ryan Fraser, so that's going to be a little bit of a touch point that the referee has to keep an eye on. James Bell has to watch and have a conversation with a couple of players. A couple of yellow cards coming out there. See how long will be added on at the end of this game then for Southampton to try and get the job done. If they can try and rescue even more than a point, could they snatch all three? They've got a free kick here in a good area to try and do so. The crowd are up. Can their team give them something to cheer about late here? Lots of bodies in the box from both players. Ball into the middle. The flick on header. It's round the back. It's kept alive. It will be a corner. Off Sam Smith there defending round the back. We've had no confirmation of additional time once again. We're playing our second minute of 90 of the 90 minutes. Second minute of additional time, but we don't know how long has actually been added on. As we've just been told, 6 minutes has been indicated. Manning with a corner, bit lower, cleared away at the near post. It wasn't a great corner, honestly. It was very low. Stewart with a flick on, looking towards Damien Downs, but it's hooked away again by Wrexham. Desperately trying to cling on to anything out of this game as they can, if they can. Can they do it? Can Southampton snatch it all away from what has been an incredibly hard-working Wrexham team this afternoon? Are they going to see it all crumble right in front of them? And the harsh realities of the Championship alive. Ball in the box. Oh, Danny Ward was quick to it. Spotted the looping ball and made sure he was the first to get to it. And that he was. So still 3 more minutes onto the 6 of the 6 to go. Wrexham are in the box here, and a snatch of an effort there from on match day 1 at home in the most incredible ending. They have a corner to defend once more, Wrexham. All bodies on the line, all hands on deck for Phil Parkinson's team to not crumble and allow Southampton to take all the glory. 2 minutes of the 6 to go. Another corner. Their 7th corner of the game for Southampton. Can it be lucky number 7? On this right hand side. Left footed delivery whipped in. It's deep. It's header. It's bouncing around. Oh, and it's gone wide. It's a bit of head tennis in there. A bit of ping pong. Whether it was Jack Stevens that came off, it did. And then it bounced off the back of Ryan Fraser and went wide. So it's a goal kick. But that was a little bit too close for comfort, really. I would say, for those Wrexham players defending that situation, those Wrexham fans in the away end. Danny Ward thumping clear. A minute left of this game. Is there one more opportunity for a goal to be found, a winner to be found? Not with a ball like that. Anywhere will do, really, for Wrexham. With the way this game's gone in the second half, they would be happy with a point, I would say, in the grand scheme of things. That is if they get that, remember. Still time left. Ball forward. Manning made the run. He's got into the box. He squared it across. It's all the way through. It's off the crossbar. And it's in. It's Jack Stevens. It's the captain. And they've done it, Southampton. Talk about a Hollywood ending. They might have Hollywood owners, Wrexham, but it is Southampton who are writing their script this afternoon. They couldn't find a way through for 90 whole minutes. And when they get to the 90th, they come alive. Ryan Manning intrinsically linked with both. Manning's free kick equalising, and Jack Stevens firing off the underside of the crossbar. And what will be surely a winner for Southampton. Unbelievable. What a way to carry the final minute of this game. Fabulous from Ryan Manning. Getting around Longman. Making sure he gets that ball across to give them a chance. It evades Damien Downs. You think it's gone. But that pops Jack Stevens at the back post. Sliding in. Any touch will do. He gets in and off the crossbar and bounces into the back of the net. What a fabulous ending for Southampton. Heartbreaking for Wrexham, but heartwarming for the Saints. They will go marching on, and it will be surely 3 points for them marching on. Southampton 2, Wrexham 1, and there's surely little to no time left now. Free kick for Wrexham. Danny Ward to take. Can they steal it at the end? Time is running out indefinitely for them. And now they might be on the brick again here. Mateus Fernandez, has he got an option? He does, and Damien Downs. But Wrexham are not going to let that one go through. And there's the final whistle. A scream of elation from Will Still. His first game in charge of Southampton. Had to be hard fought. It was hard fought. They never gave up. They always fought to the death. And they get the rewards for it. Incredible stuff. They had by far the better chances, by far the better side when it came to the second half. Wrexham looked like they were clinging on, and they were to the end, but they couldn't cling on hard enough to keep anything and take anything back to Wales with them. They will be leaving the South Coast with nothing, Wrexham, but Southampton on their return to the Championship are off to a winning start. Ryan Manning's free kick in the 90th minute, followed up by Jack Stevens' last gasp winner in the 96th minute, means it is Southampton who take the first set of 3 points of the new Championship season. Will Still already off to what has been a dramatic start to his Southampton career in his first game in charge. What a way to win. And that is all that matters, that they did win. They had to fight for it. They had to work ever so hard for it. And that is what the rewards you reap if you continue to work to the very death. Ultimately, sensational. The Saints will go marching on with 3 points in the bank at the first time of asking. Final score from St Mary's Stadium. Southampton 2. Wrexham 1. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. What a result for Southampton. We will get to recapping this game in a moment, but there's been a goal elsewhere. Coventry Hull has finished goalless, but there's been a winner in the game between Charlton and Watford. And the newly promoted side have snatched it at the death. 94th minute winner from Harvey Nibbs seemingly has got all the points, heading to Charlton. The Valley has erupted, and they could be heading the same way as Southampton as the final whistle has just gone. Final score, and Charlton have snatched the points at the death there as well. Right. Whew. Take a breath. Take a breath. Big result for Southampton. Fabulous win for them. 2 late goals to win the game to turn it around against Wrexham. And they will sit top of the table. As will Charlton will join them up there with 3 points as they claim victory. Coventry and Hull with goalless draw, and Birmingham Ipswich 1-1. That's the way the Championship has started. in our first couple of games of the new season. Quick look at the table then. Wrexham were up there. Let's refresh that, and we will get you the confirmed outcomes. There it is. Southampton top the table along with Charlton, the first two teams to get wins this season. Narrow one-goal victories, but one-goal victories nonetheless. Birmingham, Ipswich, Coventry and Hull all making up the top six as the only other sides to claim any points. Down to the bottom, and already Watford and Wrexham, they probably started down there with their letters, putting them there alphabetically, but they have claimed a first defeat of the season in their first away games of the campaign. It's a bit early to look at the table, but it's worth looking at as it is intriguing. Right, still to come this afternoon, 6 3 o'clock kickoffs in the Championship, followed by our game at 5:30. Sheffield United against Bristol City. And we will have all the results from those 3 o'clock games a little later for you when we get going at 5:30. But for now, it has been a wonderful end, a fairy tale ending for Will Still in his first game in charge of Southampton. They claim all 3 points. For Wrexham, it will be a very tough one to take. They fought hard, they worked hard, but this is the harsh realities of the Championship. You're never done and dusted until the final whistle goes.